crafted with love. We specialize in personal and custom-made baskets, bracelets, candles, and more. So when you're looking for that perfect gift or just need a custom arrangement, don't hesitate to contact Lady T's Elegant Creations, where everything is handcrafted with love.
For more information, please call 609-531-1756.
All right, welcome back to Let's Get It. After a fantastic first part episode, we talked about the Eagles, the Carson Wentz discussion, and for all of us out there watching and all you guys out there watching, have a chance, go back and watch that. It was a fantastic segment. But right now, we are more than welcome to be joined by Coach Eric Cassidy of the Cherokee Boys high school basketball team. How you doing, Coach?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate you, coming on. I know you said you got a little bit of that first part, and we'll get into that. I want to talk a little about yourself. I know, you have a great coaching history. I know even, one of the biggest things that stuck out to me the other night when we talked was, being, under Bruiser Flynn when you were at Drexel as a graduate assistant. That was pretty cool. Your own playing days. We talked about, being at Gloucester City and being a 1,000-point scorer. So just tell us a little bit more about yourself, and we'll get into how the team's doing right now also.
Like I said, I got my opportunity at 23 to be a head coach at Shalleck High School, and we had a pretty good run. We had some players that went on to play at college, and
the Holloway brothers, correct?
Yeah, Rashawn Holloway, he went to University of Massachusetts. And then we had Michael Holloway, his brother, that went to Fairleigh Dickinson University. So we had a good run with them, and then I got the job at Cherokee. And it's been good so far. I mean, it's a great district, great administration, and the kids are great. They work hard every day, and that's all I can ask for as a coach.
No, absolutely. I know you said you've been off to a good start. You're 7-1. I know the last time we spoke, you said you beat Paulsboro. So you guys are having a solid season right there. And like I said, obviously, we have Coach Marcus Bullock here from Holy Cross, who's also my co-host. I know he's want to get into it, ask you a couple questions. But, one of the things I always like to ask all our coaches we have on is, what is your philosophy, your game plan, and just like, what is your expectation out of your kids?
We always say coming into this season, we have a motto that says, we before me, or we is greater than me. And as a coach, I just want them to play hard. And we always say before the game, play hard, play smart, have fun. And if they could do that for 32 minutes, that's all I can ask for. Yesterday, we played one of the best teams in the country in Camden. And we were down 7 at the half. And I told the kids before the game, I said, listen, let Camden feel us. Let Camden know we're in the gym. And we did a great job in the first half. And then second half, they just took over. They got great players over there. But as a coach, I was happy because they gave me everything they had. So that's rewarding as a coach.
No, it has to be. And I know Coach has a couple questions for you over here real quick.
Coach, yeah, I watched the game yesterday. You guys, like you said, the first half you guys did a great job. I think what I saw was you had them taking shots that you wanted them to take. Guys were going under the screens, and they were taking long threes, and they missed. And to me, I'll be honest with you, the only thing that I saw different in the second half was that those same shots went in. And obviously that puts a little bit more pressure on you guys to score offensively and that kind of thing. And I talked to Coach Ritchie last week, and I kind of said the same thing. Your teams always are in the mix, and every year, I'm very familiar with the Olympic Conference, and every year, Cherokee's going to be down. They lost this kid; they're not going to be as good. And then every year, it's just the same thing. You guys are always one of the top teams in South Jersey. How do you keep your teams coming back strong year after year?
I think it's one of the things that we preach is culture, and I think that with how the senior leadership is, it trickles down to the freshmen and what the expectation is. With me, you have to defend. If you can't defend, you're not going to see the court. Right. We always tell the kids that defense travels, so you can control how you defend, your effort, and your attitude. But some nights offensively, you're not going to hit shots. So if you can defend, you're going to be in games. So I think that's one of the reasons why when we lose really good players, we have kids stepping in that know the recipe to what we need to do to be successful.
Right. What has been the biggest change or the biggest, I guess, adjustment you've had to make this season with all of the COVID protocols and different things like that?
So as a coach, I always have goals, short-term, long-term goals for the season. And my number one goal this year was give these kids the best experience possible. And me walking to the gym, the kids being together, laughing, that's what it's all about. We all want to win, but at the end of the day, if we can give these kids the best experience possible, that's the most rewarding, especially for me. It's been a little weird with me wearing a mask and things along those lines, but our kids have done a great job because they want to play and they want to be on the court. So they've been, like I said, really good with that.
No, it's awesome. Once again, we're being joined by Coach Eric Cassidy of the Cherokee boys basketball team. We appreciate him joining us. Now, Coach, on top of that, I know you're a busy guy in general. I know we were talking just the other day, and you're also just a big sports fan in general. But it was interesting. We were talking about your teams, and you're a fan of one of Jay's favorite teams, the Washington football team.
Well, all right, well, that's not one of my favorites.
Well, there's a certain reason for it. And I mean, there's a certain reason for it.
All right, but go ahead, though. I'm sorry.
No, and I told you the other night that Jay laughed because they had beaten the Eagles and the Eagles lost to a team without a name.
That's right.
So, but on top of that too, though, is that you're also a big fan of the Sixers. I know you're, and that we've had a lot of our guests on and kind of their thoughts on the Sixers, and we're going to kind of get into that a little more. But this last game the other night when Joel just went off his 50-point game. What's your thoughts on the Sixers this year, and where they're at right now? What is your thought on how far they can go?
I think first and foremost, Doc Rivers has brought something to the team with the culture. And, I mean, just look at Joel Embiid. His body this year is the best it's been. He's conditioned.
That's fair.
He's still shooting the ball from the outside a little bit too much than I would like. But he's done a great job. And with adding shooters has given him space to get to the rim and do what he wants to do. But right now, in my opinion, he's the MVP of the league. If he can stay healthy, I think they can make a run. I really do. I think that Doc Rivers has done a great job of putting the guys, especially Tobias Harris. I thought with Brett Brown having a little bit too much of a pick and roll role for him. And I think he's a one-on-one type of guy that he can get to a spot at the elbow. That's his game, and he's been really successful with that.
One of the things that, and I totally agree with you, Coach. One of the things that Doc Rivers said, but even before the season started, he said, Tobias, we gotta get him back. I think Tobias is in trouble when he plays outside himself. And he says, but that's all right, we're gonna fix that and bring him in. And sure enough, you saw, okay, hey, listen, what is he? Is he averaging I think he's averaging 20. He's 20, right around 20 or something like that. So he's playing well. My only concern, and I agree with you, I think Joel is in the best shape that he has been thus far. I do think that he could even go further with it. I do. And that's just maybe anybody that we always have to continually get better. But the one thing I have a problem is the utilization rate. I just feel like if he doesn't dominate like this, then we might possibly be in trouble. And that's the only thing. It's too many. I want him to dominate, but I don't want a situation like Iverson was, where Iverson had to score 30 to 40 points every night for us to win. And I don't want that situation, because when we get into the playoffs and you can have some success the first 2 rounds, whatever, but once you start getting into that final round and in the championship round, you need other weapons. You need X factors. And that's what I think. I mean, I think they're on the lookout for some bench play.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, if you're an opposing coach, you might be saying, you know what, let Joel get his
Right.
and let these other guys beat us.
Right. Right.
That could happen, and that's where I think that Harris, Curry, I mean, these guys got to step up.
They do.
But I am a little worried because their bench,
Yep.
like, I still think they need some pieces. I think they need a guard coming off the bench that can score. I think they need a big that can stretch, because you bring Dwight Howard in, he's not stretching the defense out.
Not at all.
It was interesting to say that, Coach. It was interesting to say that. I was actually going to bring this up on the show today, so it's a good way to kind of prelude into that. The thought of Boogie Cousins coming over to the Sixers and being kind of that big guy to stretch the floor off the bench. I kind of want to get everybody's thoughts on that, but what's your thoughts, Coach?
I don't know how great a locker room guy he is. I mean, I don't know what his expectation is coming to this team. Like, we don't need him to, try to score 18 points. I think we need a guy like an Ilyasova,
Yep.
something along those lines. They can, like I said, stretch and shoot the three. But, I mean, I wouldn't say no to him if we can get him at the right price. But it depends what we have to give up and things along those lines. But I still think we need a guy that, like an Ilyasova, like, that can just stretch it and help out with spacing.
If Mike Scott, but Mike Scott, he's had a lot of injuries, but if he's locked in,
Yeah, he can shoot.
that he could fulfill that piece. I do agree with just a little additional guard play. It would be nice if we can get JJ back. I thought I heard that he was on the market
That'd
at
be
one
great.
time. You know what I mean? I thought I heard that he's available. But I think
Yeah.
with your mentality and perspective, you're and you said it. We preach defense. You talked about, but you also said we, not me. Right? That's
Yeah.
your mantra.
Yeah.
Do you feel like players have to necessarily have that trait in them already, or is that something that you can take a me guy and turn him into a we guy?
I think that we had a kid a couple of years ago that we had a really good team and we lost a lot, and he was a really good player.
Right.
And I went up to him before the season. I said, this season could go two ways. You can get your shots, you can get yours, and we're going to win 8 games. Or you get these guys around you comfortable, make them make plays, make your life easier getting open shots, and we'll win 18-20. And he came to me and said, Coach, I just want to win. So I think him seeing the success we had, he wanted to continue that.
Right.
And I just look at the game. We played Trenton Catholic, and they had a guard that's still there, Freddie Young. They had a kid go to VCU.
That was at Holy Cross.
Yeah, and that was a great game for us to show that the kid that we had was getting everyone involved early, and then they had confidence, and then they started playing well, and it made his job easier. But I think it's one of those things where if you preach it, it's got to be from day one. And I've had guys that were talented but just didn't fit with our program. And I tell the kids every year that we're not looking necessarily for the best players. We're looking for the right ones that fit what we want to do.
And just to double down on that, it seems like, and kudos to you for going to that kid, because obviously you kind of identified him as maybe one of the main pistons in the engine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you say, okay, and that's kind of what you would want out of your main piston, or so to speak, not to inflate a high school kid, but like the franchise player. You would want that
Coach,
we versus we instead of me mentality. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things, I see with the Sixers now, I like Embiid and things along, like he's done a much better job off the double teams, looking for people instead of forcing things at times. And I think he, in his back of his mind, I think he knows too that, listen, I need these other guys with confidence if we're going to do anything.
And that's the natural progression of maturation. Now, you know, you can have some success a little bit, but then going forward, you want to say, okay, you know, sometimes it's about looking in the mirror to say, hey, listen, you know what? What can I do as the main Piston or that main franchise person to change something?
Right, I don't, you know, just so you know, Coach, and I know we talked about this, and I know you're not an Eagles fan, but obviously an NFC East guy. Jay, I know he's making a little reference towards my man Carson Wentz and, you know, the way he didn't step up as a team. So I know you're not an Eagles fan, but what is your thoughts as like a coach on the way he behaved?
I don't know what he's talking about, Coach.
The only thing that worries with me with Carson Wentz is how he's handled adversity right now.
Hello.
I think that they brought somebody in, and I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. They brought a kid in that basically is saying, listen, he's going to replace you one day because Rodgers did that with Favre. And Rodgers comes out and has one of the best years of his career. Mm-hmm. And I think he took that as adversity and say, I'm going to show them. I think Carson used it as an excuse, like, well, they don't have my back, they don't have this.
Like a little baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know how much adversity he's had in his life because he went to North Dakota State. Mm-hmm. He was the man there. Mm-hmm. Comes to the Eagles, he was the man. And then now a little bit of adversity hits, and if these reports are correct, he doesn't talk. How do you not talk to your head coach?
First of all, time out.
And where there's smoke, there's fire.
I gotta ask this.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what I'm saying.
This.
You don't see smoke and then, there's no fire.
No,
you say there's fire.
Everybody in this room, including you, Coach, who's joined us, I think you, Marcus, and my co-host Jay here all had a conference call prior to this.
No.
Because literally these were the exact same thoughts brought up during our first call.
No. Listen, I mean, it's perspective, brother. That's what I'm trying. You have to be able to see. You have to get past the loyalty.
I need a new prescription.
You have to get something. I know, Pearl Vision or something. Man. You got to get past. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? You got to get past that. But I think Coach is right. Like, pressure either bursts pipes or make diamonds, and that's what it does. Everybody goes through it, but when you go through it, that's when your true character is revealed, and that's what Coach is doing at his program. The we, not me.
No, I love that mentality.
I mean, my gosh, you know what I'm saying? But with all that, it doesn't make a difference. You still love them, but that's another.
It is. I know we do want to get attention back to you,
Coach
Marcus. I think you were going to mention something before.
Well, I got two more questions for you, Coach. One, how's the twin dad life going for you?
Yeah. It puts life in perspective. Because I was saying something the other night. We were undefeated. We go to Lenape, and they wanted it more than we did. They kicked us in the mouth, and I think it was an eye opener for us. And in years past, I would come home and just think about it, like just being upset, and of course I'm still upset that we lost, but when I walk through the door and I hear my daughter that's 9 months say Dad, that game goes to the backside. Like it's one of those things where it's the greatest gift in life, and people can talk about like being a dad, but until you're a father, it's spectacular.
That's awesome. And my final question for you, something we ask everybody. As we try to expand our show and reach out to more coaches in the area, who do you think would be a good coach for us to have on the show? And the caveat to that is you have to help us get them on.
Well, with that said, and just to piggyback off that, Marcus, I know there was one person that Coach has given us already. It was Justin Barringer.
From Sterling.
Yep.
But in addition, was there anybody else, just to piggyback again off of Coach's question?
And not Adam Carpenter, please.
No, JB Justin's a good one. I tell you what, he was on my staff. I've known him for years. And he's a great guy, and he's doing a great job at Sterling right now. I could definitely get him. He would definitely love the opportunity. I'm trying to think, like, who else we can get on there that would be a really good. You know who I'm going to talk to is the Haddon Township coach, Patty McNamara.
Patty would be good. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is one of the most underrated coaches in South
I
Jersey.
agree with that.
He does a great job with his kids. We played him this year, and those kids played hard. And he's a really good guy, so that's another one I can work on for you guys.
That'd be awesome.
And you know what, real quick though, Coach, and then my bad, man.
No, it's okay.
So
It's
you,
fine.
I call it shallot. Is it shallot?
Shallak.
Shallot, yeah. So
Yeah.
you mean to tell me, and this, I gotta choose my words right. So here we go. So Arthur P. Shallot was a perennial team at a time.
So when I took the job,
That's a better question, right?
we won 10 games the first year, and it kept getting better and better. And I knew the 7th and 8th grade team was really good.
Okay.
And the state of high school basketball now is kids think that they have to go to these prep schools to get recognized
Sure.
and things along those lines. And I just remember having a conversation with his parents, and they said, "Coach, we trust you." And those kids could have went anywhere. And they stayed at a school where, I mean, people would call it Shilac.
I call it
Shallot.
I call it shallot. I did. I
Yeah,
shallot.
Shilac, Shilac, like, no idea where the school's at. And like I said, it was one of those things where the parents trusted me. They had a great career. We went out and played the Lenapes, the Shawnees of the world, and we did a great job. We did a great job, and it's kudos to the kids working hard every day.
You had another 1,000-point scorer in that group, didn't you?
So we had 4 on the court. It was Melvin Allen, DeAndre Solomon, Rashawn Holloway, and at that time, Michael Holloway. But Tyler Lunsford was a junior,
That's what I was thinking of, Tyler. Yeah.
and he scored in 1,000. So we
Yeah.
had 5,
That's crazy.
and we lost to Pittman in the South Jersey Championship, where there was 2 Division I kids on our side, and they had 3 Division I kids.
Right.
Who was that?
So-
Pittman? Was that Pittman coach Crawford?
That was Crawford.
That was Crawford.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Kevin, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. See. Yeah. I would. I'm familiar with. I was calling it Shallak. You know what I'm saying? For a little
Yeah.
bit. But that's just my accent, though, and not knowing it. And then I passed it one day, going to Centerton, which is out there, right? But,
Yeah.
But I've seen it the last couple of years because I work at Penns Grove down there. So
Okay.
so I'm like, wait, Charlotte. So I'm like, man, but every time we play Charlotte, you know, it's a game, you know, but it's a game. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, you know, but I remember asking somebody, I said, yo, listen, was Charlotte ever like perennial, like pretty? You know what I'm saying? They said, yeah, at one time. I think they said they had some twins or something. I guess this is the moment
The
that
brothers,
you're talking
yep.
the brothers, right?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. So it just helps me kind of relate some things. That's all.
Absolutely.
No, awesome, and you know, Coach, like I said, I appreciate you joining us. You know, a lot of good insight. You know, sharing your story, sharing your success about your past and whatnot, and you know, again, helping us grow and giving us some more people to potentially reach out to. Before I let you go, Coach, anything you want?
No, good luck, Coach. I know you got my guys Cherry Hill East this week. So
That's
that's
a alma mater too.
That's
So I
always
gotta,
always
Yeah.
always a dogfight.
DA is we've been friends for years, and it's always great going against him because you know they're going to bring their A game,
Right.
and we're going to bring our A game. Absolutely.
And good luck, Coach. And just please, you know, no matter what, you know, and congratulations to you on your beautiful blessings and miracles with your children, and just always, you know, keep that we, not me mentality, and hope that everybody can kind of, you know, learn from that and learn from that mentality too. We, not me.
Yeah,
not me.
no, it will be in Cherokee, so they run me out the door.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch up with you down the road.
Thank you very much for everything you guys do for South Jersey basketball.
All right,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Coach.
Thank you.
Let's give it up for Coach.
Absolutely.
Me, not me.
No, I really do believe that the two of you may have had a little
No, it's just,
pre-show conference call.
no,
with
really.
Coach.
I mean, it's just people that concede, man. I mean,
But
you have to
then he brought up the Aaron Rodgers situation.
That was a great comparison.
You know, I mean,
Smart.
I understand. Listen,
Intelligence.
maybe like you said, maybe at the end of the show today, I have to take some time to do some thinking.
He's lying because I'm telling you, he'll look at it and then you know what? Listen,
He'll be like that Howie Roseman.
that Howie Roseman.
I'm still gonna blame
and
Howie
then he'll
Roseman.
be like,
I'm still gonna blame Howie. I'm still gonna blame
I love
Jeffrey.
number 11 forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm
No,
telling you,
it's not 11 for forever. I'm always gonna be thankful for 11. I'm still, listen. I'm still mad. I mean, I'm just glad Bryce Harper has a no trade clause because if I invested in that jersey and then he's gone, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Would you always be thankful for number 10?
Number 10.
I mean,
Oh, on the Eagles. Oh yeah, Deshaun Miracle of Meadowlands. Yeah, absolutely.
You're always thankful for
Oh,
him?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Number 5 too?
Yeah, you're number 5. Always love you. I
What
always
about
love
20
him.
What about 25? Is that Shady, right? Was that
Oh,
Shady?
yeah.
26.
No, Shady was 25.
25.
Shady was see now. Shady is something that hurts everybody because Shady should have remained in the
Gee,
Eagles.
there was no reason.
There was no reason for him to ever go, and that
What about-
hurts.
What about 81?
81. Oh, T.O. Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right.
But the thing is, like T.O. was successful. T.O. should have. You look at what they do, and everyone has a different level of love and appreciation.
Mhm.
Like I think Philly fans, as we know, have such a weird. Like if you give 10 Eagles fans or 10 Philly fans a list of 10 players, I think all of them are going to have a different perspective on it, unless you
Sure.
just say like
That's fair.
Mike Schmidt, or you say someone like that, or
Yeah.
you say
I'll go before Mike Smith.
Jim Bunning, Steve Carlton.
Okay, Steve Carlton. Okay, Jim Bunnings.
I'm just saying, listen, we're coming up on the baseball season. I'm excited. My boy JT already is out with the fractured thumb.
He's Mudo.
You know,
Got his money. Got his money.
so he
now.
fractured his thumb on
Just
purpose.
saying, got his money, man.
So he fractured.
Got his money.
But I'm just saying, it's interesting though, and like I said, I think that when it comes to the Eagles, and that's one of the things I'd like to do on some future shows is kind of just talk about the level of where we think players are. Make a list of, because everyone, if you make a list of top 15 players, top 20 players, I just think that is what's going to be so interesting because even within groups that I'm friends with, you have Carson Wentz. And you have 3 or 4 different views. You got Nick Foles, you got different views. So, I think the Eagles, more so than
What view do
anything.
you share? Because you seem to be in the middle ground. What view do you share? I'm just saying, you say you have different Carson Wentz and different Foles. What are your views on Carson? You brought up Carson Wentz and Foles. So,
On Carson Wentz and Foles,
yeah, what are your views?
I would tell you that they both contributed big time to the Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Good answer.
Yeah, it is. That's a political answer. That's a political answer.
Great answer.
No, it's a political answer. Look, you can't take anything away from Nick. You can't. You can't take away from Carson either.
Just saying, at a certain point, listen, and we're gonna leave it alone. We got some Sixers stuff to talk about, but at a certain point, it's like, yo, you know what? You got rid of Nick, you brought him back. You know what I'm saying? You got rid of him again, you brought him back. And each time you brought him back, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He was just successful for you.
He was.
Okay? And you know what? Listen, you put all your trust, all your love in the stripper who you gave $100 to,
Oh my goodness.
that you said loved you or whatever, and you find out, listen, you know what? He's moved on.
Well,
Straight up.
okay.
That's it. He's
Well,
garbage.
let's transition to one
Garbage.
thing that
Garbage.
let's transition over because I know we started getting a little bit of Sixers talk, so we'll
Mm-hmm.
continue that. And I know that I brought up the Boogie Cousins idea, and I know that it looks like it might just be a buyout, so it might be something.
Really? So that one was true?
Yeah, I was reading that earlier today that he might be available.
So wait, Houston's not doing, is it Houston, right? He's not doing nothing out there? I thought they had that nice little big 3 out there.
He's not. He wasn't even starting.
No.
They come up the bench. Oh, because they got the Wood kid, right?
Who's hurt? So now he's playing more now. But
But if he becomes available, what's your thoughts, Coach? I mean, I know we kind of, you mentioned it a little bit, but.
I mean, I don't think he's what the Sixers need right now.
Yeah.
You know, I think like Coach Cassidy said, I think they need more of a shooter, somebody who can stretch the floor at that position. And like Jay said, I think if Mike Scott was healthy and consistent, I think he could be that guy. But he just hasn't been there, you know, at all this season. So I don't know. I'm sure on the buyout market, once that comes up, people are gonna, you know, there'll be guys that we can look for. But what I find interesting is you know, we need all this bench help now when we had the best player coming off the bench in history in Maxey for a while.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. He has been nowhere to be found.
Sure enough. He's been garbage.
Yeah.
He's been garbage.
He had that little tiny stretch.
But at the same time, he's a baby. So you saw flashes. You know what I'm saying? But he's been garbage. I have to.
And I think that Shake's not playing has hurt, obviously hurt.
Well, he's still out, huh?
Yeah.
He didn't play last game. Yeah.
No, and I mean that's that 13 to 15 points a game off the bench,
Yeah, you
a
need
couple
that.
threes that you
Yeah.
can get. I mean, here's the thing, and everyone looks at right now the Sixers, and you know, some people will tell you, oh, they're the best team in the East, no doubt. They're going to win. They're going to go to the championship. I can't see that yet. I still think that they need that additional piece. And like we're talking about, to really be a solidified finals appearance. I mean, because I still think that you have Brooklyn. I think a healthy Brooklyn team gives them a lot of problems. I think a healthy Boston team gives them a lot of problems. So, you know, it's hard for me as a Sixers fan to look at this team and say, oh, you know, write us in the finals. And I just don't know where it is
I think
necessarily.
we're there, though. I think we're in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
how it shakes out, like what our matchups are.
And I think,
But
and
I'm
I think
still scared of this team come playoff time because of Ben Simmons.
Which I agree with. But I'll say this: they're way further ahead than I thought they'd be at this
Yeah.
point in the season. But I will also say, Ben has these last, I mean, before whatever's going on with, I believe his back is bothering him or something. Whatever it is, the last couple games he hasn't played.
He exerted himself in 40 points. I mean, you know.
But you know, I think if he can continue to play the way he's been playing, even with him beat in before the 40-point game, I think that gives me some more hope. Because now he's not just sitting down there on the baseline waiting, you know, to get offensive rebounds. He's looking to score. He's being much more
he's
aggressive.
engaged.
And I think if he can do that, you know, I think that changes things for this team. And I think that will open it up for guys like Seth Curry and even Danny Green to, you know, to get open shots. And I think that's going to be the key for this team in the playoffs.
Well, I tell you though, I'm concerned about Danny Lionel Richie Green.
He does look like Lionel
I
Richie.
am. Hello.
I was watching American Idol the other night,
Right.
and I was like,
Danny Green, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say hello. It is you we're looking for. I mean, because I don't see him making nothing, Everything he shoots, that same little, And then one time he had the nerve to do like, the Damian Lillard and try to like get a foul, and it's like, he just went flying into the bench, and then everybody was like, I'm like, dude, I just say shoot the ball. Just shoot the ball, Like
that is your role.
That's your role. Shoot the ball, not to try to do Damian Lillard fouls, because you're just a shoot the fucking ball. But he's just been off, So you have to shore that up, because even in the playoffs, did he even play well in the playoffs last year?
No, he was bad.
He was terrible last year. So we need somebody else, another shooter. If we can get JJ. Now you got JJ and Curry. Watch out, because I think you still have Ben, and then you still have Joel, and then if you could have, I would even start
Tobias.
and Tobias.
Yeah.
I would even start. Think about that lineup: Curry, Redick, Tobias, Ben, and Joel Embiid. That's a finals lineup.
It is.
A finals lineup, and then you got Shea coming off the bench. If he can sustain and maybe get a little something out of Maxey, a little something, we'll see when the pressure comes.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning.
So you move Danny Green and Shake coming off the bench.
Yeah, or get rid of Danny Green.
Okay.
Get rid of him, because he's not giving you nothing. He's not giving you nothing. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And just to me, I think you might get more out of Maxey now when the pressure comes a little bit, because he had some pressure on him in the beginning, and he stepped up. But now then he had the fanfare, and then now he's kind of, you know, done it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So maybe when that pressure comes back, you know, we could see, you know, maybe he could give us a little something more. You know what I mean? But you need something else. Something else. Mike Scott, like you mentioned, I think if we can get him in the fold and he's shooting Jays or whatever and doing that Mike Scott walk away and whatever, then I'm like, okay, we could do something. We could do something.
But you know, I have the faith in Daryl Morey. You know, I think that he's going to make the moves, and that's why I think this team is the most exciting thing, and it's interesting because it was an argument the other day I saw on radio. It was like, you know, is the Sixers ceiling, you know, basically distracting us from all the other teams in the area right now? But that's a whole other story to get to. What I wanted to continue with is moving to the Western Conference for a couple minutes and talking about the Lakers. You know, and it cracks me up when people they jump on an opportunity, like, oh, the Lakers may not be where they're at. The Lakers may not be the team. You're missing Anthony Davis. Somebody tried to make an argument the other day, and it was maybe Anthony Davis is more valuable than LeBron James.
That's what happens when adversity comes. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron needs his. I mean, listen, he gave his all versus Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? But he still can't get the job done. But then you have Kyrie and Kevin Durant over there kind of snickering, talking junk, whatever. And like they did something. And I'm not saying they didn't do anything, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you know what? You beat a dude who don't have his sidekick.
KD didn't play either.
Oh, that's right, KD didn't play. But it was still two superstars.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they got three superstars.
Yeah. But it was like last night. I was talking about last night. You know, for example, he still was able to knock away the inbound pass. You know, he got double teamed. He found the open guy. Did what he was supposed to do. Caruso missed the shot. I don't think Alex Caruso was the guy that wasn't taking that final shot. But it's just, I just laugh at everybody just tries to jump on LeBron whenever they can. And, you know,
How does he handle it, though?
I think he handles it awesome. How do you think he handles it?
No, I think he does. I think he handles we. I think he has that mentality. We, not me. I think he handles it. I think when it's time for something to be said, I think he says it. I think I think he steps up and shows that leadership. I think that's what he does.
Well, you know, I'm not going to even entertain that. Not going to entertain LeBron's ability to be a leader over Carson's ability to be a leader. Come on. But going back, just looking more into the Western Conference. Like, I know obviously Utah has been playing out great basketball. You know, you have a deep conference. Do you think that come playoff time, anybody can really push the Lakers?
No.
Straight up.
But I think here's what I think it does. I think, and going back to what we were talking about before, with Anthony Davis out, I think that's going to put more miles on LeBron.
Yeah.
So I think that's the team's only other hope to. Something's got to be wrong with them because you think Schroeder didn't play either against Brooklyn, which is a big piece.
Right. Yeah.
So you know, they're loaded, and I still think, and you know what, you're talking about JJ. People are talking about JJ going to the Lakers. Like if that, it just doesn't. You know, that's where people want to go now to win. So I think they're still going to add a piece. You know,
That wouldn't be a bad move for him. I mean, he doesn't have a ring. He's a veteran player.
I think they're still going to add another piece. You know, Utah reminds me of Milwaukee.
Yes.
And I mean, just in terms of that's the kind of team they'll be. They'll be good in the regular season. But I just don't see. You know, when it comes down to it, you know, the Clippers are they're doing all right, but everybody's hurt, and you know, we still have yet to see what Paul George is going to be in the playoffs. And then Kawhi's not. I don't know. He doesn't seem like he was on the verge of trying to say he's the best player in the league a few years ago, and now it's like I feel like he's taking some steps back from that. Still having a good year, but just not.
I think it's the Paul George effect. I think that. No, I do think it's that, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's his effect he has an effect on players or whatever. I think the team that is, maybe, do you think that this team is surprising to people? It's not surprising to me, because I thought they would come down to earth, Miami. Like, Miami was in the finals last year.
They got banged up with a lot of COVID stuff.
They did.
But I think, I agree. I think that they got, it's kind of, I don't want to say the same thing as Utah, but like the culture thing It's great. It's good. It's
Right, yeah,
great.
sure.
And until somebody's just better than you.
Right, period. Right. That's it. Yeah, it had a good moment.
Yeah, and I still think they'll move up from where they are right now. I think they'll
Right.
figure it out, but I don't think
They're not going to take to the final.
I don't think they'll
No.
be a threat.
No, they had a good moment. See, people have good moments.
My finals pick from way early in the
Well, and I also think we
Yeah.
talked about this. I think this shows that Jimmy Butler's not a superstar.
Exactly. He's a very good all-star, but not a superstar. He's a good player though. But again, like I said, they just come down to reality. He had a good moment. People have good moments, man. Like no.
I think
listen,
we're-
no, it's
Go
like
ahead.
you know what? It's like the Siakam
He's
That's-
playing well right now.
right now. But you know, he gave him all that money. He hasn't really been living up to. I never forget with Jason Bismarck Biombo.
Oh yeah.
He had a hell of a year.
There was people.
Yeah,
that
he only had a good playoff series. He got beat.
There was people that coming into the season though had him up here like boom.
He's a bum. He's a bum. Garbage.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying.
mean, that doesn't affect me. I mean,
No. It's not. No, this is just conversation. I'm just saying.
You're
But-
very defensive.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
know
Like,
what- like I
wow,
said,
wow, wait a
listen,
minute.
I have to
We got
be-
the heater on.
I've fallen,
Wait a minute.
I know that.
Damn.
I've fallen into a lot of traps. I have to be on
Damn.
high alert.
No, but listen.
I don't know. Like I said, I think the thing about the NBA is, and like I said, it's at the end of the day, and that's what people always say is that there's not enough of a diversity of who gets here, who gets there. Oh, it's going to be the Lakers and it's going to be this. But at the end of the day, no, because I think the Eastern Conference is wide open. And it's like, stop trying to say, oh, the NBA is boring because of one team. I mean, you could say the same thing, in Major League Baseball. You could say the same
Right.
thing in any sport.
Right.
But like I said, I'm excited to see what happens. I know, like I said, one last thing on basketball before we go to the break. Who are the Sixers All-Stars? Do you think? I know obviously Embiid is going to be the starter. Who do you think should be an All-Star for the Sixers?
Tobias.
Tobias
Yeah, absolutely.
and
I mean, yeah, but who else has been playing? No, not Ben Simmons.
okay.
I think Simmons is an all-star before Tobias. I don't know if either of them get in, because I was doing this the other day. If you go through the list of who it's going to be, there's probably 2 or 3 spots left that I don't know. I don't think they both definitely won't get in.
Right.
I think Simmons maybe not, because Simmons hasn't played the last couple games. I don't know, but I think Tobias's effect has kind of fallen off, where he was playing so well, and he's still playing well, but it's just not. It's not great. It's just he's playing very well, especially for Tobias. It's not a wow.
Listen, you're averaging 20 points in someone said the greatest basketball league in America. I mean,
No. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying if you're comparing, there's only 12 spots.
yeah. So yeah. And maybe he gets an honorable mention or something.
But I think there's going to be a lot of guys that don't play.
That don't
so I
play,
think you
yeah.
might get him from that.
Yeah.
It is.
And then now, does he want that? Do you want something like that? Where
I heard him say, they were talking about, do you think they should have the All-Star game this year? And he was like, I might be an All-Star. Hell yeah, they should have it.
Well, yeah, but
take advantage of it. It's all good. Okay.
Listen, everyone's had those
Hey,
years
it's
when
all
you were
good.
playing. Everyone's had years when you were playing games when you were like, this is my year. I want to have the All-Star team and whatnot.
Right.
And then, the next year, you were like, not a big deal. this year.
So Randy, if I hear you correctly, you're saying that it's good for players to take advantage of opportunities,
Yes.
and you applaud and support players that get an opportunity.
Depending on the situation.
He's not going to answer anything right now. He's thinking hard.
I'm just saying, right now I am a politician on the stand. But with that said, fantastic segment. Once again, thanks to Coach Cassidy for joining us. If you didn't get a chance to catch his interview, watch earlier in this segment of part 2. We'll be going to commercial break, come back, do our final thoughts, wrap it up. You're watching Let's Get It. We're right back.